You talked about the role supplements played in your book. Can you explain, I'm sure there were quite a few in your regimen. What were some of the important ones, and how did you find out you needed those?
Well, you know, when I was doing this program at the beginning, I didn't know anything about nutrition. And when I got into the macrobiotic diet and lifestyle, they don't recommend supplements or anything like that. It was just diet, lifestyle, and you know, that was pretty much it. So that's all I knew for a while. And of course, I was doing the vitamin C, and I was doing that behind closed doors, because there was no way I was going to give up on a chance that might help me after reading that book that time. It just stuck to me like glue. So I did that. But, you know, just as I went along, for example, I went to a lecture, a parasite lecture, a friend took me to, and the lecture was given to by a person that is very close to me now this day. And she was giving a lecture on parasites, and it was Ann Louise Gittleman. Ann Louise Gittleman was giving a parasite lecture. I went to it, and she was talking about cancer and parasites, and talking about, you know, the immune problem that parasites created, and all the digestive issues and all that. Well, I'd had digestive issues, and I'd had animals. I had cows, and I had this farm in Texas, and I had cats, dogs, pigs, everything. I had all this stuff. So I was also exposed to that. So now I'm learning about this, and maybe that was one of the causes also. So, I mean, it's all about your immune system. You know, when you start getting a toxic load up to here, the immune system says, wait a minute, we can't do our job anymore. So, you know, you're going to end up with a problem down the road. But I learned from that I had parasites, because she told me where to go get tested. And she actually went with me to a world-renowned parasitologist in New York City. And he told me, he said, look, he says, after he took a sample, he says, you are loaded. He did a tissue swab sample, which most doctors don't even test for parasites. But this guy was renowned. He was from Colombia. He knew his stuff, and he'd been around a long time. And he told me right then, he says, you are loaded, my friend, with parasites. You got amoeba, which is a one-celled organism, parasite, that kind you get when you travel, or, well, we used to think we had to travel to get it. You can get it anywhere. I had Giardia, the kind of thing you get from drinking water in mountain streams, and I'd been, you know, all over the place, camping out and doing everything imaginable. And I had something called Ascaris, which is none other than common roundworms that you get a lot from animals and from the dirt, and from, I mean, you can get it from eating raw foods and salads and all that. So I had that, and he told me right then, he says, I have never seen a case of parasites or AIDS that didn't have some kind of parasitic involvement. And that got my attention right then, and so I got very excited and thought about all these other people that I had known that had cancer. What about them? Well, maybe they all have parasites. Maybe this is one of the root problems. So I got excited about that, and long story short, it got me opened up, and I eventually started a company that dealt with testing for parasites with people. I had my own remedies, herbal remedies for parasites, and I got into the natural supplement business, and I've been in that business for 28 plus years, and I've learned so much about other supplements to help. Like I got into, you know, enzymes, for example, because I learned about the enzymes, the importance of enzymes. People need to take enzymes, especially if they have cancer, I think. I think most people that have cancer have a low enzyme bank, if you will, and their pancreas is not able to produce enough enzymes any longer. And enzymes are so important. So I recommend people taking enzymes, not only with meals, but between meals, pancreatic enzymes. And because cancer cells, after they start to develop, they eventually have a fibrinogen layer around the cancer cell that looks like almost like a shell, I guess you could say. It's a mucous membrane, like your mucous membrane in your body. So the immune system doesn't recognize it as a cancer cell or a foreign cell. It just recognizes it as a kind of a coated area. So, you know, in order to strip this layer, you got to take enzymes, proteolytic enzymes, which start to go in there and strip that off, and now the immune system can go after. Of course, you got to build your immune system up. So that's where I learned about enzymes. I learned about things for the thymus, things for the spleen, which are important immune glands. I learned about anti-inflammatories like curcumin, berberine, things like that you hear about that actually go after cancer stem cells and help destroy those. So there's so many things. And I learned about probiotics. I learned about the importance of the good flora, which macrobiotics really supported and really helped to build, you know, the good bacteria in your gut. And your gut health is 80%, up to 80% of your immune system. So I learned about that. So I learned about the most important things when it comes to immunity: vitamin C, probiotics, spleen, thymus, and you know these were key factors. And then second was the enzymes, you know, and I found that was such an important thing for me. And I mean, I take a lot of other things that are high antioxidants. You want to just, you know, build your antioxidant amounts up to here. You know, you can't get enough antioxidants. So I mean, all this is anti-cancer. You want to get everything out that causes cancer, that affects your immune system, and everything in that's an anti-cancer that fights cancer. And you want to, you know, work on your emotions. You want to work on stress. You want to exercise. Get your oxygen going. I believe very much in far infrared saunas. That's one of my favorite things to do. And you know, you can get those things nowadays pretty reasonable. I mean, I got 2 of them, and I get in that thing and you sweat, and I mean, you sweat out heavy metals, you sweat out, you know, all kinds of toxic chemicals and pesticides, and you just have to. You just got to keep kind of peeling that layer of the onion back. And that's so important for people, whether you've got cancer, you're trying to get rid of the cancer, whether you want to prevent. And we all want to prevent, because 1 out of 2 of us nearly are going to get cancer in our lifetime. And, you know, probably nearly 1 out of 4 of us is going to die from cancer in our lifetime. So I don't know what people are doing. Most people don't even think about it. And it's getting worse and worse.